Welcome to Market Recap Live. I am your host, Joseph Martin. As always, I have an awesome show for you guys tonight, and I don't have my lights on, so give me 1 second. I thought I was ready early, guys. I thought I was ready, but I wasn't. I didn't have everything cut on, but okay, here we go. We're taking a look at AES Corporation, the S&P 500 Performance, their biggest winner and loser of the day, and learning about dividends. We are streaming on YouTube and Facebook. So if you could be so kind, put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, and put a FB in the chat if you are tuning in from Facebook. So let me help you with that real quick. So again, put an FB in the chat for Facebook and a YT for YouTube. So this show is for people who are in any stage of their journey with the stock market. It doesn't matter if you're interested in learning more about it before you get started, or if you've been investing for years. We're building a community of people who want to be empowered by taking control of their financial situation. So we're streaming weekdays following a market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The U.S. stock market is usually open Monday through Friday, and the regular trading hours is from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description for you to be able to check that out. I am still playing the music. No, I'm not. I did turn it down. Okay. Check the chat. No chats. Okay. So let's move on. Let's get to it. Since we're looking at AES Corporation tonight, let's pull them up on the chart so we can get an idea of how they have been performing over the last year as far as stock price. All right, so this is the S&P 500. So let's put in the ticker symbol for AES in the symbol box. So here they are. Now this is a 1 year, 1 day daily chart for candlesticks. And it looks like since, what's that, May? Oh, this section right here. So this is February, this is March. So this is February, this is where we are now. And they just hit a 52-week high of $17.65. And they were at a 52-week low on May 22nd, 2025. So in less than a year, this stock shot up. Let me pull up this tool. It's not the retracement. Which tool is it? I should have looked at this before I did the stream. But it's a way to pull one of these up where it'll give you the percentage of the trend. Maybe this will give it to us. So if we go from, okay, yeah, this is it. So if we go from that low to the high, it'll give us a percentage and we'll know how much the change was. So this stock then went up over 86%. If you look down here at the end, when we mouse over it, it says plus 86%, plus 86.58%. And this stock went up that much in less than a year, because we looking back here, what was that date? May 22nd, 2025 till today. So it almost had 100% return. It's crazy in less than a year. AES. So let's look at, and I was blocking it. So that's the low, the 946. You couldn't see it. I didn't know I was blocking it. So let's go. We're going to look at the 1 year. We looked at that. Let's pull up their website. Okay. So let's look at their website. So we go over to analyze. And we go right here. So this is their website. Let me bring it over so you guys can see it. All right, so while that's going on, let me go here. There we go. All right. So AES Corporation, ticker symbol AES, were expected to release earnings for the fourth quarter 2025 after the market closed on Thursday, February 26th, or on Friday, February 27th. But the scheduled earnings call and financial results were postponed. Okay. AES Corporation is listed in the independent power and renewable electricity producers industry inside of the utilities sector. AES now plans to host its earnings call on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026 at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time after filing its Form 10-K with the SEC. The market expects their net income EPS, earnings per share, to be 63 cents. And their top line, which is their revenue reported, has an estimate of 3.03 billion. AES reported a 201 million net loss this same quarter last year. Rumor has it that the earnings were pushed back because BlackRock's Global Infrastructure Partners, GIP, and EQTAB are in advanced talks to acquire AES. That's a lot of letters and abbreviations. I know it is. The companies are reportedly negotiating a deal that could be announced as soon as next week. Markets reacted positively with AES shares rising on the news. And we just looked at that on the chart with the 52-week high. So they shot up after this news that came out, hitting that 52-week high of $17.65. All right. So now let's look at a couple of things on their website. So let me just blow the website up. So we're just going to focus on this. Click that. All right. So we got the full website. Let's scroll down. Energy solutions that power our future. Together with our customers and partners, we're powering the industry shaping our future. And like I said, this is a wonderful way just to get an idea quickly with visuals and everything to find out what these companies do just by visiting their website. Just by visiting the website. So they got a section over here, careers, investors. You can view all these articles about the company. But I want you to understand, when you go down to the bottom of these companies' website, usually the information you want to see or look for as far as like investing and to learn more about the company is right here at the bottom. So over here, you got about AES. So let's click that. Now, when we open that up, I got to pull this so we can go to that part of the website. Okay. So accelerating the future of energy together. The AES Corporation is a Fortune 500 energy company with an outcome-focused approach. We partner with communities, utilities, and businesses to create energy solutions and integrate technologies that meet their rapidly growing need for reliable, clean power. AES is the largest US-based global power company and a major source of energy innovation, changing the way the world creates, distributes, and stores electricity. With a diverse generation fleet, we are a top seller of clean energy to corporations and one of the largest energy providers to technology companies, powering the AI revolution and industries of the future. So this was like a nugget, I feel like, personally, just my personal opinion. Because AI is such a big deal, this company making sure that they can power AI seems like, to me, personally, for me, as this would be a good investment and something to look at for myself. So 17 million equivalent number of people served by generated electricity in 2024, 12.3 billion in annual revenue in 2024. So that's their portfolio. Okay, so we looked at the customer relation part. Let's look at the investors. So we go back to the main website and we go over here for investors and we can find out. So this is what I was telling you guys about how you can go on their actual website and find out things about their stock. So here is telling you that it's on the New York Stock Exchange, NYSE, and the ticker symbol is AES. And here's the price that it closed at today, $17.28. And their market cap for the company is 12.31 billion. And they tell you when this information was last updated. Let me see if they give you any more information about the actual stock from here. So yeah, you can go on the website and get that. So we got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. So let's move on from that. Check the chat. We good on the chat. So let's go back to this. So I would appreciate it very much if you guys would share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe, and the links for the Cash App and PayPal are on the ticker, which I don't have up. They're on the ticker and down in the description to support the channel. I also want to get the community involved to let other people know where you are in your investing journey. So here's what I want you to do. Poll for investing journey. So here we are. If you want to start investing in the stock market, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 2 if you've already started investing, and put a 3 if you want to learn and get a better understanding about the stock market and investing. Again, put a 1 if you want to get started, a 2 if you've already started, and put a 3 if you're looking to learn more about the market to understand it better. Now we're going to talk a little bit about dividends. Okay. So what are dividends? Dividends are a fixed amount of money per share that a company pays out to its shareholders. Some investors find companies that pay dividends attractive because they have the potential to produce a consistent stream of income. Most companies that pay dividends quarterly, and other companies and investments even pay dividends monthly. It all depends on their dividend schedule. So if we go back to the candlestick chart where we were looking at AES, let's go back to that. Go back to the charts, AES. Okay, so when we come back here, we can see down at the bottom, these dollar signs are showing us this is where they're scheduled to pay dividends. So this is dividends that they already paid. So if we mouse over it, AES paid a dividend of 17.6 cents. We know that it was 17 cents because of the decimal, but it's a fraction of a cent when we get to 0.6. So that's why I'm saying it that way. They paid a 17.6 cents per share that you owned. And they did that on January 30th, 2026. And if we look at the chart, we can go back and we can see that they pay quarterly because this is 3 months prior. So every 3 months, they pay dividends. So we can see that right there on the chart. Check the chat. All right. So now I want to show you what this looks like. We're going to look at a dividend payment, what it'll look like. So for an example, your dividend shares, your dividend payment times the shares you own. So let's say a dividend for a company, for example, was paying 23 cents and the shares you own was 1,000 shares. You would end up getting paid $230. But now this depends on, are they paying this on a monthly schedule or are they paying this on a quarterly schedule? So let's look at that. So if they were paying it quarterly, 4 times a year, that would be 4 times $230, and that would be $920 a year. But if they were paying it monthly, that would be 12 times a year. So 12 times 230 would be $2,760 per year if they were paying monthly. So yesterday, I talked about the drip. So drip has to do with dividends as well. And by the way, I spelled dividend all types of wrong in that video. So we're fixing that today by covering again. We're going to cover dividend drips again. So let's pull that slide up with dividend spelled correctly. And we're going to look at this now. So DRIP stands for Dividend Reinvestment Plan. This is when you tell your broker to reinvest your dividends to purchase more shares in that company instead of them paying it directly to you. All right, so let's pull up the S&P 500 to see how it performed today. So this is AES. Let's go to the S&P. So that's SPX for the ticker. So we pulled up the index. And I want to show you a trick that I didn't show you before. Yesterday, let me pull this tool over so I can show you this. So yesterday, I showed you how if you focus right here in this area, you can see the different information as I mouse over the candles. If you look in that box, you can see how the stuff changes. It's changing kind of fast. Let me zoom in. All right. And then as I mouse over each candle, the date will change. And that's telling you what day that is we're looking at. Okay. So there's another way to be able to see that information. So this is how you do it. If you go to settings and you come right here where it says data box, you can click floating, apply, okay. So now it removed it from up here. And now when you mouse over a candle, all the information you want to know about it is right there. So now when we mouse over the candle of today, we can see that the S&P 500 opened at $6,856.54. They closed at $6,878.88. They had a high of $6,882.96, and they had a low of $6,831.74. So they closed today down, it'll be up here, 0.43%. So that's what happened with the S&P 500 today. They closed down. And I showed you guys how to use the data box. Okay. So now let's go to the S&P 500 biggest winner and the biggest loser. But we're going to start off with the loser so we can end on a high note. I want us to end on a high note. So we're going to look at the winner last. So let's go over there. So we go to our Market Watch tab. Let's pull it up so you can see it. So the Market Watch tab is right here. We were on charts. So now we go to Market Watch. And you put me back on the screen until my face blocks something. And now we want to go to the S&P 500. So we go down S&P 500 right here. And now here are all the companies. Make sure we have on our market recap. And we click the percentage change. So there we go. So the biggest loser for today is ticker symbol UAL, United Airlines. They closed down 8.7%. So yesterday they closed at $116.43. And then today they closed at $106.30. So we pull up our calculator so we can look at what would have happened with your $1,000 investment. So if you had invested in this yesterday when it was $116.43, you lost 8.7%. So you take your $1,000 and you multiply it times 0.087. So you would have lost $87 today. And then you add that to your 1,000. And that'll tell you what you would have had left after you lost that 8.7%. So you would have had $913 left from your initial investment. Now let's look deeper at the company. So let's take off the calculator. Let's take me off the screen. Look at the chat. Okay. And we come over to UAL. We go to analyze. So now that we're over here at analyze, we can see that United Airlines Holdings Incorporated is in the industrials sector. It's right here under the ticker symbol. And when we come down, we can see United Airlines Holdings Incorporated, their website, and a brief description about the company. So we'll read that. United Airlines Holdings Incorporated, through its subsidiaries, provides air transportation services in the United States, Canada, Atlantic, the Pacific, and Latin America. It transports people and cargo through its mainline and regional fleets. The company also offers ground handling, flight academy, frequent flyer award, non-travel redemptions, and maintenance services for third parties. Now, if you don't know, we don't read this whole thing because you got time to do that on your own time. But what we do make sure that we do is go to their website. So let's get an overview of what's going on with the company on their website. So they bring this over. And here we are. So we're going to glance over the website and look at the different things that they have going on. Make sure I'm not blocking it. So the 80,000 bonus miles, nothing standing out to me right now. So here we go. Useful links for you. Travels better with a United card. Plan your trip. Visit the help center. Stay connected. Time to start packing. More perks with Mileage Plus. Break the Wi-Fi barrier. Join Mileage Plus to access the fastest connectivity in the sky for free. Now available on select United flights. And right here, here's another company. They got Starlink. So this company has something to do with Tesla. So they're working with United Airlines to provide Wi-Fi. So these are clues you can pick up on when you look at these websites and pay attention to what the companies are actually doing. If you're looking to invest, you might be able to see something that stands out to you that you can get ahead of early before everybody else jump on it or before it shows up in earnings and things like that. So we're going down to the bottom of the website. Make sure I'm not blocking it with my picture. So let me change it. And we're trying to find the information about investing. So you got important notices. I looked at this earlier because I knew that it didn't just jump out on it on this one. Like it was kind of hidden. Customer commitment. I think this is one of them. Nope. About United. It's right here. So this is where it was hidden at. So in here is where you find the investment information. You see right there where it says investor relations. So this is where you can get the information about investing. Took me a minute to see the other one. Maybe was it Brandon that I looked at earlier? I'm not sure. But right down here, we can find the Our United customer commitment. So this is going to tell you stuff like about the company, not as far as like investing, but about the company. We are committed customers that makes us a leader in the airline industry. We understand that to do this, we need to have a product we are proud of and employees who like coming to work every day. Our goal is to make every flight a positive experience for our customers. Our United customer commitment explains our specific service commitments so that we can continue a high level of performance and improve wherever possible. The commitment explains our policies in a clear, consistent, and understandable fashion. We have detailed training programs and system enhancements to support our employees in meeting these commitments, and we measure how well we meet them. Okay, so we've read that. Let's go up here. We're going to go back to the investors. So about United, we go down to investors relations. So we read their information, but we didn't look at a chart. We didn't do that earlier. But right here, they give you a brief. Now, this is called a line chart. So when we were looking at the other price action earlier, we were looking at a candlestick chart. This type of chart is called a line chart. And it usually represents where you see these sharp edges at or where it's lining up at. That's usually the close at the end of the day. That's where that line is basically being traced to. So they closed at 106.30 today, down at 8.7%. Remember, we had read that. So they lost $10.13 from where they closed the previous day. And then you can see more information about the company. So what they reported, their last earnings was 59.1 billion total revenue. Adjusted diluted earnings per share was $10.62. The free cash flow was 2.7 billion and their pre-tax margin was 7.8%. So we can see that right here under investments on their website. So we checked out United. Now let's go ahead and look at the winner from the S&P 500 today. So we click on change and whoa, Dell went up 21.93% in one day. So yesterday they closed at $121.45. And today they closed at $148.08, which was a 21%, almost a 22%. I'm gonna round this off, a 22% return in one day. So let's break out that calculator. So if you had invested $1,000 yesterday in Dell, you would have made, now here's a quick little trick. If you multiply it times 1, that's going to show you your initial investment. So you're going to get that 1,000 again. And then you put 0.2193. And then you click equal. So what this is going to do is going to tell you, it's going to give you your 1,000 plus the $219 you would have gained in interest. That would have been your return on investment. So I'm going to do that again. But this time I'm going to do it where you just get the money you would have made. That way, when you do it that way, it adds the 1,000 to it. So we're going to do it in a way where the 1,000 is taken out. So if I clear that out and go back, we take 1,000 and multiply it times 0.21.93. So now it just gives you the 219. So that's how much money you would have gained on top of the $1,000 you would have started with your investment in one day. Now, this doesn't happen all the time, and that's why I'll also show you can lose a high percentage in one day too. So we show you the losers, the biggest loser, and we show you the biggest winner every day. So let's look at a little deeper at this company. So we highlight this company, Dell, ticker symbol Dell. Then we go to analyze. So the name of the company is Dell Technologies Incorporated. It's in the information technology sector. And they closed today at $148.08. And if we come down here, we can read a little bit about the company. And remember, we don't read the whole thing. We just want to get a general overview before we go to the website. So let me do this so you can see. Dell Technologies Incorporated designs, develops, manufactures, markets, sells, and supports various comprehensive and integrated solutions, products, and services in the Americas, Europe, and it didn't say and the Middle East, Asia, and internationally. The company operates in two segments: Infrastructure Solutions Group, ISG, and Client Solutions Group, CSG. The ISG segment provides modern and traditional storage solutions, including all-flash arrays, scale-out file, object platforms, hyper-converged infrastructure, and software-defined storage, and general-purpose and AI-optimized servers. All right, that's all I'm going to read it at. So let's go on to their website, and let me put me back on the screen. So here's the website, and here is yours truly. So I'm back on the screen, and let me blow this up a little bit more. All right, so this is Dell's website. It's very colorful, very vibrant. I actually like this. So you see the different things that they offer: laptops, desktops, monitors, PC accessories, servers, artificial intelligence, data storage, cyber resilience, feature products and solutions. Unlock productivity with 6K clarity, seamlessly multitask on this 51.5-inch monitor with stunning visuals and all-day eye comfort. That monitor does look pretty good. Okay, then we got down here, Texas Athletics enhances fans' experiences. Discover how University of Texas Athletics is redefining immersive experiences and shaping the next generation of sports media professionals. We go down a little further. We're here to help. All right, as you can see, it's a lot of information. Let me take me off the screen so we can see everything at the bottom. So we're looking for somewhere where it says my company or our company, something like that, and investment information. So we look, it's right over here. We got our company. So this is going to give me the information, or us the information about who they are, their goals, and things of that nature. And then we go a little bit further down and we see investors. So let's start with who we are. Let's see how they broke this down real quick. So who we are a global team united under a single purpose to drive human progress through the power of technology. And they got our values, our story, the Dell story. Our story began with the unwavering belief everyone deserves access to the best technology. For decades, the idea has fueled Dell Technologies into becoming an industry leader and continues to do so. They're committed to people. We're committed to creating a productive and safe work environment that empowers team members every day. And then they have their leadership here, all these different names, so you can get an idea or know who these people are that's putting your money to work if you invest in these companies. And we come down here, remember, we're going to investors. So now we can get information about the stock. Now, what I like about Dell's website right here personally, they have a lot of information going on here about their stock, like this little graph. I could have sworn I had saw. So that's their financials. So that's SEC filings, why Dell investors. I could have sworn I had saw like a chart earlier when I looked at this. So US GDP growth is driven by AI CapEx. Our industry continues to grow. Latest events. So yeah, it's just a lot of different stuff you can dive on with these websites. I just want you to understand it. It's a lot of different stuff you can dive into. And this is our company that we are wrapping up with tonight. So you already know. I hope that you learned something and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you check out the whole life insurance link I have down in the description. It is just some information that you may want to know for you to protect yourself and your family. I'm not trying to sell you anything. It's just some educational stuff about whole life insurance and how it works. And make sure you tune in weekdays following a market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern.